Before the wall fell, you have East and West, so all the German companies were divided in two, so you had the Neumann East and West. After the wall fell, both companies were reunited. They were developing digital technology, so these engineers working on what you can call the pre-digital technology acquired the technology so they could start their own company, and then they'll have to search for an investor where the Salzbrenner family comes in. And the easiest thing to start with was actually the audio router, the matrix. This would be the fastest to produce. In that year, they made the first cell of Nexus. They have to start it with Nexus. They designed it like a network approach, so a non-centralized router. The DSP of the consoles, the processing, makes part of Nexus. So as a result, all the users, you can call them then the consoles, they have unrestricted access to all the resources within the network. You don't have the burden of having tie lines or whatever between the studios. You have the Nexus network. Actually, the concept of Nexus always stays the same. You can also see like Nexus is a big format converter. Each time a new audio format comes out to make new boards. Also the consoles, they need more resources. So if you look like a channel strip on the console, you have A/B input, you have direct in and out, you have aux send, you have all these connections. They have to be connected into the network. If the star is born, as you can say it like that, it's like a 4000 router inside of the star. So if you have a 400 channel console, you multiply by 8, that's the amount of connections you need to the outside world. But it's not the limitation of the whole network. If you have a base device initially inside, it's like a 256 by 256. If you put two base devices together, then you just double up the size of the network. Since 2019, Nexus can work in an IP environment, which means that we can replace the fiber optics by an IP stream. We call it Nexus IP link. It's actually the same format, and when you look at the traditional fiber, it's IS3, which is 32 bits. Audio is 24 bits, and you have 4 user and data bits, which is used for communication. If you have a 2110 31 stream, it's also a 32-bit format. They call it transparent format, which means exactly the same, 24 bits, 4 user and data bits, which you can use for communication, to send back and forth, let's say in this case, the Nexus UDP protocol. Also, the fact is, it evolves in this, which means it's, I won't say backwards compatible. I call the Nexus nowadays a hybrid system. It can work 100% with the traditional fiber or TDM. It can work 100% IP, or it can work hybrid. We can put the whole system over IP, so the consoles like the Avatus console over here is connected by an IP link or an IP connection to a switch or a data center, and then to the core. The Compact is the latest development, but the True Match is actually from the 90s, so this is one of the main exclusive thing with Stagetec actually. The Nexus Compact is a further evolution of let's say the Nexus family. The Nexus, I told you about some numbers, they sound quite large, so you can scale it up enormously. But also now with the Nexus Compact, you can, could say, scale it down. A standard base device is 256 by 256. The Nexus Compact, it's like, what do you say, an 80 to 80 input-output, so if you look at that as a router or a matrix. But the Nexus Compact means that you have a non-configurable I/O, so it means it's fixed. You have 8 microphone inputs, 8 analog outputs, 4 IS stereo in and 4 IS stereo out. And then you have the audio IP part, which can be either Dante or IS67 2110. It's nice to have been talking about Nexus, because you said to me like frustration or whatever, but everybody sees this is the blinking lights, but about what's behind it, it's not really so well known not by the users actually, but by the industry.